Hello, welcome to Verbling. Welcome to a class. My name is Hamish, and in this hour we are going to look at some job interview questions, some particular job interview questions that I posted to the class description. Let me remind you of those now. Let's see. Oh, yes. Okay. Number 1, tell me about yourself. Number 2, what kind of people do you find it difficult to work with? And number 3, how do you influence people to accept your ideas? Let's see how far we get in this hour in terms of practicing these questions. The first one, again, tell me about yourself. So we're going to have a good look at that one, first of all. Now, these... sorry, I just got a little noise there. I'm going to shut that down. These first 2 minutes are for Verbling Premium users. If you have a Verbling Premium membership, you can join right now and make sure you get a spot at your favorite classes. If you don't have one of those memberships, you should check it out and consider whether you want to upgrade that membership and give yourself the best chance to join the classes that are best for you. Let me add that link to the box there. Let me also, just at the top of this class, let me give you the web link to some good ESL job interview advice, and that is about.com's website there. So I would check that out. They have some great example interview questions, but also some really good advice about how to prepare and what to expect from an interview with an English-speaking company, whether you are traveling to that country, whether it's the United States, Canada, the UK, etc., and you're having an interview with them, or maybe you're talking on the phone with that company, or you're talking on Skype with them, or it's an English-speaking company that is based in your country. If that's the case, I suspect they are still wanting to speak English with you. And of course, there are other companies. For example, maybe it is a French engineering company based in Moscow. There's every chance they'll still want to speak English. They want to speak that business working English to get things done. So there are many different companies all over the world where they will want a level of English from you. Sometimes they're going to want a very high level of English. Sometimes maybe they just want some basic English so we can communicate with each other and just do those basic things. But hopefully the job description will give you a good idea of what kind of English level they're looking for. And of course, if they want to have an interview with you in English, that is going to require some really good English skills and some very good preparation in terms of the kinds of questions they're going to ask you, and of course the kinds of answers and the kinds of evidence and examples you're going to give them to show them that you're the right person for the job, right? All right, I see I have a full classroom, so let me get started, and yeah, then we'll get to that first question. I'm going to put that question in the box, by the way. Put it in the chat box, so you have a few moments to think about it before we get moving. Here's that question. There we go. And but yeah, let me say hello to all of you first of all. Hello, first of all, to Ahmed Khalil. Hello.
Hello, sir.
How are you today?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Where are you from, Ahmed?
I'm from Alexandria, Egypt.
Egypt, very nice. Welcome to Verbling. Great to have you in class. Are you looking for a job right now?
Actually, I'm still studying, but after 1 year, I'll be looking for class for job. Sorry.
Sure. Okay. And what are you studying?
I'm studying computer and information systems, and also economics and marketing.
My goodness, you're busy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff. Okay, fantastic. And so, of course, you want to work in those fields. So, I know what you want to do. I have a pretty good idea of what you want to do. Where do you want to work, Ahmed? Do you want to work in your home country or somewhere else?
Actually, I'm looking to work in England because that's my dream, actually.
All right. Okay. Okay. And a fine place to work. Okay. Very good. Let me say hello also to, and welcome back to Badir. Hello, Badir.
I'm fine, teacher.
You guessed my question. I'm glad you're doing okay. Glad to have you in class, Badir. Hope you can stay with us and get some good practice today. Let me say hello also to Carlos. Hello and welcome back. Carlos, how are you? Oh, can't hear you yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's better.
Yeah.
How are you? How are you today?
Yeah. Fine. Fine. Thanks.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Um, I have to show you my window right now because this is. Let me just. Again, it never looks that bad. It never looks that bad on screen, but
Yeah. Oh.
tell you what,
Very good.
if I suddenly disappear, you'll know why because I've been struck by lightning. So hopefully that won't happen.
Okay.
Doesn't always happen, just sometimes.
Here is sunny.
I know,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's very fair, to be honest with you. I'm not happy about that, but keep hold of it. Keep hold of the sun because it's so much better to have a sunny day. Of course, I understand that. Good to see you in class, Carlos. Thank you, and I'll look forward to speaking with you later on. Let me say hello to Emre. Hello, Emre.
Hello, teacher.
How are you today?
I'm fine. How about you, teacher?
I'm pretty good. Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey.
Turkey. All right. And Emre, tell me, are you looking for work right now?
What?
Are you looking for work? Are you looking for a job?
I'm still studying in university about public relation and publicity.
Okay, PR. Got it. Well, welcome to the class. I hope we get some good practice with you today. Let me say hello and welcome back to... Oh, just going to switch off that microphone, Emre, because it's quite loud right now. Fernando, welcome back.
Yeah, I am very happy to back.
Okay, I'm glad. No cameras, right? Definitely no cameras in this class.
Right.
Okay,
I'm
good stuff.
sorry. It's my
That's all right.
first time here.
I understand. Wow, it's really raining here, by the way. Goodness
You
me.
too.
Oh, is it really?
It's
Yeah.
raining here.
I got to show you. This is crazy. I know. I'm not going to show you the weather every time it changes, but
Jesus Christ.
yeah, this is. I don't think anyone would be happy with that, would they? I mean, my goodness, this is. Why do I live here in Tennessee? This can't be good for me, I tell you. Fernando, thanks, and I will. Yeah, I'll come back into focus at some point.
Yeah.
There we go. Hi. Great to see you in class again. Welcome back, and I hope we get some good practice. Liliana, hello, welcome back. Good to see you.
Hi, Hamish. Good to see you too. We have the same weather.
Really?
As in
I'm so
Tennessee.
sorry.
It's raining as well. It's a cold day. No, because we are in a rainy season now in my country.
Oh, I see. I'm in tornado season in Tennessee, which is no fun at all. But so I guess I should be happy that it's just raining. So if I need to start swimming, I might need some help from students in the class because I might need to get rowing. Apart from the weather, how are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay.
My day just started because it's 8 a.m. 8:11 a.m. in Colombia.
Yes, because we share the same time zone, which is quite wonderful. I think.
Yes, you have the same time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this is Central Standard Time in the United States. So yeah, we're also 8:11 here as well, which is and if you look on that map, you'll see. Oh yeah, we're kind of in line with each other. It's pretty cool. Well, I'm glad you chose to start this part of the day with us. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming to class. I look forward to your answers as always, Liliana. Thank you for that.
Okay, thank you, Hamish.
All right, let me say hello to Nicholas. Hello, Nicholas. Yes. Hello there. Oh, I can't hear you yet. If you unmute that microphone, Nicholas, we'll be able to hear you. Yeah, no, can't hear you. So let me just put that advice there. Yeah, so please. There we go. And there's a button, Nicholas, and then the top right, I think, of your screen. And if you hit that, that should unmute it. So I'm going to let you look for that. And in the meantime, I'm going to say hello to, I'm going to say hello to Sylvia. Hello, Sylvia.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. And you?
I'm pretty good. I'm staying dry inside at the moment. Remind me, Sylvia, where are you from?
I'm from Spain.
Spain, excellent. And are you looking for work at the moment?
Yes, I'm looking for work because I just get unemployed and I will go to Canada, so I'm looking for a job in Canada.
Canada, eh? What do you want to do in Canada?
I'm social worker, so I want to find a job in this area.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Goodness me. Well, I'm really glad to have you in class because, again, we can have a lot of different jobs, a lot of different backgrounds here in the classroom, and I think it's great to have all those different examples. Sylvia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, you too.
All right, now you're welcome. Let me say hello and welcome back to Yasin. Hello, Yasin.
Hello, teacher. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice to see you. Now I know what you do, but I'm not sure anyone else does. So remind us, what work do you do, Yasin?
I'm a lecturer at university, teacher.
Mm-hmm. And remind us, what kind of what do you lecture in?
Okay, my department is computer programming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And hey, thanks, Yasin. Thanks for joining us again. I look forward to hearing your answers today in class. Nicholas, how's that microphone? Can you speak to us? Still mute. Okay. There's definitely a button you can press. Well, I'm going to let you have a look at that. It's a microwave. It's not microwave. It's a microphone button, and it looks like a microphone. And if you click on that, it should unmute you. I can't unmute you, Nicholas. It's only you have the power. Only you have the power to do that. Now, I typed a question right at the start of this. Let me see if that's in the box. Oh yeah. We're going to practice that question today, okay? I think I have a picture to show you. Let me see if I have that. There we go. All right. Can you see my picture, everybody?
Yes.
Tell me, what do you see?
It's the greeting. It's a greeting.
Yeah.
It's a formal greeting.
They
All right,
are
okay.
partners.
Okay, and where are they?
In elevator.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. We can see those elevator buttons right there. Okay, and this guy, I mean, here's Jeff, right? So what is he saying? What's his question to Jeff?
What do you do?
Right on. Yeah.
What is your job?
Exactly. Because we have two questions that sound quite similar. We have a how do you do, and that can be a British way to say, well, to say hi, to say hello, really. How do you do? But that's very different to what do you do? And, well, we have a third question as well. We have what do you do? That must mean about work. Or, of course, it could be about studies. We have another one, what are you doing? Now, what are you doing? That's very much that present continuous. And of course, well, we could say that to our kids, right? What are you doing upstairs if they're making a noise? What do you do? If we use that simple form, that base form of the verb, that's most likely that's a question about work. So Jeff has been asked to answer that question. Let's see how he does. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, there he is. Okay. So here's Jeff's answer. What does Jeff say first of all?
I work in natural healing.
Right, and this guy, he's like, really? What is that? And does Jeff give a good explanation?
No.
He's struggling. He's really struggling with this, okay? And the problem, of course, is with a question like this, you don't have all day. If someone says, what do you do? If you can't give an answer, and if you can't give an answer in English, this is a problem. We absolutely have to prepare to give this answer. And of course we need to prepare to give it in a job interview. We also need to prepare to give it in really any situation where you need to talk about work. And that could be in a social situation. It could be at a business conference. It could be at a meeting. You're introduced and someone says, oh hey, what do you do? We need to be able to give a very clear answer, and we can call this the elevator pitch, because when you're in an elevator you have a few seconds to tell somebody something, and this most commonly is used in Hollywood to pitch your idea, to sell your idea for a movie to someone. But we can also think of an elevator pitch in terms of how we explain ourselves, how we explain our job, what we do, or of course what we'd like to do as well. If we're talking to someone who perhaps has an opportunity for us, who perhaps has a job for us. So sometimes, we get into an elevator and there's someone we're very happy to see, but we have to be prepared. And of course, sometimes when you're applying for work, let me get rid of that cartoon. Sometimes when we're applying for work, we will put our resume, our CV on a jobs website, right? We'll put it there, and we'll put our phone number. And so we could get a phone number at any time, especially if in this global job market, we could get a phone call morning, noon, and night, and we don't know when they're coming. And it's so important to be prepared to speak naturally in English about the job that you do, about the skills that you have, and the kind of work that you want to do. Yeah, very good to be prepared for those things. If someone says, "Hey, what do you do?" Someone says, "Oh, tell me about yourself." We don't want to be scrambling around for bits of paper and thinking, "Yeah, I'm not quite sure how to put that," because if we do that, well, they don't get the information, and they're in a hurry, and they're going to move on. They're going to look for someone who can give them this information, because this is the least. This is the least that we can do for that person. It's just to give them a clear explanation of what we do, what we're looking for, what we're good at, right? So tell me about yourself, and also what do you do. Definitely need to prepare these, because we'll need them at a job interview, but also we're going to need them at short notice on a phone call, at a business conference. Yeah. So, and hey, if you can give a good answer to this, very helpful, very helpful. If you struggle and if you're not prepared to give an answer when you're looking for work, that's going to be a problem for you, absolutely. Okay. So let's take this question first of all. Tell me about yourself. And I'm going to go to Liliana first of all. Do you want to practice this first question with us, Liliana?
Yes.
All right. So I'm picking up the phone, and I need to speak to Liliana. And yeah, first of all, hey, I've got some jobs you might be interested in. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I'm single, living with my mother now. I'm responsible, honest. I work for almost 5 years at customer service.
Mm-hmm.
I consider that I have a good experience in this field. I have the skills to know how to keep in calm in difficult situations. So I got some training courses about how to control myself and to manage the tone of my voice. I have the enough tools to know how to treat a customer, but I'm willing to learn new things in this new job, and I'm considered I'm a patient to deal with customers and to help them to find whatever they want from me. And I read about this company, and I know that it's a global leader in communication over the world, and this company has opened a branch in my country, so I would like to take part in this company. And I'm available to work in any shift. I think that's all. I don't know.
All right, and I'll let you go for it. I think there's lots of good things in that answer. I think the answer got better actually as you went on, because you started to give me some examples there. When you talked about, I'm able to keep calm in difficult situations. And you explained why. You said, well, I'm able to do these things, but I've been on training courses. So you can, we're talking about our qualifications there, and the skills that we've learned on a training course like that. That's really good. You talked about being willing to learn new things, and you also, of course, very important, you talked about why. And if we think about that job interview example, you said, well, this is why I want the job, and you talked about the good things about the company. That's a great thing to end with a question like this, because the last thing they hear is why you want the job, and they're always interested in why you want the job, because it tells them about motivation, and it tells them how prepared you are, that whether you've done your homework on them, yeah, whether you've done your due diligence on the kind of company that they are. A couple of things, Liliana, you talked about at the beginning. You said that you are responsible and honest. If I ask you for an example of you being responsible, what would you tell me?
I always in my previous job, I always be punctual, because I know that the company requires that the employments have to be on time to get phone calls. So it's very important that you are, and I think this is the most important thing in this kind of job, that you have to be punctual on time.
Okay.
You have to be ready to get phone calls from the customers, because we're always working with shifts, so the company requires that the employees have to be on time always.
Okay, I like that. I like that example. I like the detail, and I think it's so important that we can, first of all, say, you know, here's something I'm good at. Here's an example of me being good at this, and also, why is this an important thing? You know, especially if we talk about that, either our current job, the one we're doing now, and saying, well, this is why it's important that I demonstrate these skills. You know, the things I'm good at, these are also the things that this company wants. And if we can talk about the company we're interviewing with and say, well, I know the work you do, that, for example, maybe punctuality or responsibility are going to be key skills, key attributes, or key characteristics that you're looking for in this job. Again, you're making the connection between yourself and the company, and that's what they want. They want, what is the job interview for? It is for you to tell them why you're the best fit for that organization. So yeah, I think, Liliana, I think that is a good example for responsibility. You mentioned honesty as well. What can you say about honesty at work?
Because I think I always try to do my best on my job, to give let me think, and to show to give a good image of a company who I work for, to be loyal with the company, and to demonstrate that I don't know how to express myself. What else? Yes, that my boss or always trust in me.
Right.
No, I don't know how.
Okay. No, that's fine, Liliana. I think it's absolutely worth thinking about, because honesty, at certain jobs, at certain levels of an organization, they're going to be wondering about that, and they're going to be thinking, well, is this someone who is trustworthy, who is honest? And of course, sometimes in the job description, they'll say, we need someone, yes, who's punctual, who's responsible, and who's honest. And so let's, if that's the kind of job we're going for, not all jobs are going to be specific about that, but if the job does require that, and if they clearly state that, especially in their job requirements, very important. Nicholas, I hear your microphone. Very good. I'm going to mute it for a second until we need to hear from you, but I'm glad it's working. Very important for us to give examples, that shows that we're honest. Or, of course, we could talk about we could speak for our boss and say, oh, my boss has said that he finds me to be a very honest and trustworthy person, and I know how important it is to be honest and again to show that responsibility. You mentioned, Liliana, that you represent the company, that you speak for the company, and it is important to be honest in that respect as well. So I think you're giving some good examples, and I know you can work more on preparing these kinds of details, this kind of specific evidence, and so it'll get even better as well. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Liliana. That was a great way to start that practice. Thank you.
Thank you for your help. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Let me go to Carlos. Carlos, same question, right? Tell me about yourself.
Yeah. I work as engineer. I'm from Spain. In that moment, currently I have a freelance. I have my own business, and on other hand, I am looking for a new job because in Spain it's in a crisis, and my business is not good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And for this reason, I am improving my level of English, and I am trying to do it. Besides, I am easygoing. I am assertive. I think and a bit stubborn because I defend my own ideas. I am convinced about my ideas,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that is for the reason I think that I am a bit stubborn. But I think it's sometimes it's good and sometimes it's bad.
Yeah, that's an interesting one, Carlos.
Yeah.
I like that. Now, you talked about you mentioned. We've got three big ones there. We've got assertiveness, a confidence in your own ideas. Now we could maybe just say self-confident for that, and stubborn as well. Now, you mentioned it at the top again. You're saying, well, I'm an engineer, right? And you talk about these characteristics. Are these good things for an engineer to have?
Yeah, I think sometimes, as I say to you, sometimes it's good because you must to be self-confident
Mm-hmm.
and defend your ideas or your way of about your think.
Mm-hmm.
And it's good, but there are moments where you must accept
That's it.
the other ideas about your job or your way of think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So give. I know you're working as a freelancer. You're working freelance at the moment, yes?
Yeah.
Okay. I think these details are interesting, and if we can make the link between self-confidence, assertiveness, and the best qualities of an engineer, I think they're good things to talk about. If we're being asked about our qualities, about our character and our working style. But again, we need to be specific. So, give me an example of when you've needed to be assertive, when you've needed to show self-confidence at work.
Yeah. Because I think you need to be assertive when, for example, you are with a customer and you are really confident about your job, about your results, and you are finding to convince to your customer, and in that moment you must be assertive. You must be clear with him or with her. I think in to explain your ideas, your results about your job.
No, I think, of course, I would agree with that. I mean, of course, because we are, if we're a professional person, if we have the skills and experience, then I think in most lines of business we need to be assertive. I mean, of course, absolutely, we need to be self-confident as well, because some customers will trust us. They'll trust our expertise. Other customers will of course have very strong views about what they want, and most of the time, of course, they don't have the training. Otherwise they would do it themselves, right? So to have that self-confidence and to say, well, of course, we need to listen carefully to what the customer wants, but we also need to have the confidence in ourselves to be able to say, well, this is, you need to trust me to carry this out in the way I see fit, because that's what you're paying me for. This is I'm the expert. I'm the professional here. So very important to have that. First of all, of course, to have the listening skills so that we know what they want, and we can help understand, so we can create the best product or the best solution for them. But also, absolutely, we need that self-confidence. To be able to do the best job we can. Otherwise, we're going to be distracted from what they want and go down a bad path. So I think Carlos, I think these are good things, good examples in terms of characteristics, personality, working style, things like that. And I think that example you just gave, that's the kind of thing I would be looking for. If I was the interviewer, I'd be listening for, okay, well, why is this a good thing? When have you needed to show that? And give me an example of when you've been assertive and what was the result. And we absolutely need to talk about those outcomes. And that could be something as simple as, well, there was some work I was doing. The customer, had a lot of suggestions. I knew some of these would work, some of these wouldn't. So I had to be self-confident. I had to assert my expertise. I was able to persuade the customer. And I was able to provide a solution to their problem. The customer was very happy. A story like that, of course, with much better details than I've just given, it's going to give that interviewer a good story, a clear story about why your character, why the way you work, again, is a good fit for their organization, right? Because they're looking for a happy ending here, and they're looking for some clear actions that you take to solve problems. And I think that's true for most jobs, engineering and pretty much everything else. We're looking for people who can solve a problem, right? That's why they're advertising for a job. They have a problem. They need someone to provide those skills and experiences. So the more specific we can be, the clearer examples we can give about the good work that we do, well, the better prepared we're going to be for a conversation like this. But I liked your answers, Carlos. Thank you for those. That was really good. All right, let me now go to Sylvia. Sylvia, are you ready to practice this question with me?
Yes, sure.
All right. Hey, first question, of course. Tell me about yourself.
Well, I did a degree in social work at University Complutense. After that, I also did a master degree in women and gender studies. So I'm specialized in this area. Also, I did an internship in the Elderly Council and the Women Council from different villages of Madrid. My greatest strengths are I'm very empathetic. Also, I'm very reliable person, and I'm sociable as well.
Okay, and that's interesting. Now, tell me more about this empathy, this empathetic skill you have. Give me an example.
Yes, I believe that is very important because you need to work with people, and if you don't feel the way that they feel the things that they need to explain their problems, and it's
Hmm.
very personal. So you need to try to understand them. Is the most important thing in my job, I think.
Right, right. And have you? I mean, can you give me an example of when you've successfully done this?
Mhm. I can give you an example. When I was on the Women Council, one young woman came to us, and she want to tell her history and her problems because she has a boyfriend, and her boyfriend uh, fight with her all the time, and it was horrible for her. So we need to be very empathetic with her, because if she feel bad with telling that or something, she she is going she isn't coming again.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like, she need to be very comfortable and also very well with that, because if she doesn't feel good with the people that work in there, it
Hmm.
can be worse.
Hmm. Hmm.
Can be worse in the situation. So
Okay, okay, and I think that, and Sylvia, I think that example, that it's getting there. It's getting there. What I would encourage you to do to make an example like that even better. I mean, it started off. You're talking about when you're doing it. You're describing, the woman in that situation, and you're talking about the importance of empathy when we really need to find out what's going on, and of course to be empathetic in that situation. Of course, absolutely, it's essential. Otherwise, that they don't think we know what it's like, if they don't think we understand them or can listen to them, why would they talk to us? Absolutely right. Um, to make that example even better, what I need to hear, what the interviewer is going to need to hear, is the things, the concrete action that you're taking, the details of what you did, and of course the result. And if the result is simply that she, that the woman was able to give you details so you could help her, yeah, that she was able to be honest with you and to talk clearly about, if she was at risk, if she felt she was in danger, and what was going on in her life. Well, there's a successful demonstration of empathy. And of course, if she felt reassured by the conversation she has with you, that's of course that's another part of the success story for you. So I think that's of course you're right. I mean, that's, if we're talking about the skills that we need as a social worker, one of the massive ones is going to be empathy, that the ability to be empathetic, to understand. Not, I mean, and we're, this is more than just feeling sorry about it. It's about understanding what that person is feeling, of knowing where they're coming from, of knowing what they're thinking about, and of being able to hear very clearly what their concerns and their problems are. So so good to demonstrate an understanding of that, and I think your understanding was very clear. I would encourage you, though, to think more about the example you want to give, and in terms of the things that you did and the result of that action as well, because then you've got a story. It's like, well, I'm very empathetic. For example, here's when I did this, here's what I did, here's what the problem was, here's my actions, and here's the result as well. And that gives the interviewer a very clear story. And they can, if they have a box that says empathy, check, tick, right? They know you're capable of that. So then they can move on and ask you about the next skill, the next thing that they want. So I think you gave some really nice details there, and I really liked your explanation. Yeah. All right, let me go on and say, let's see, where are we on my list, right? Let me go to Badir. Hello, Badir.
Hi, teacher.
Hi. I have to ask you that question.
Okay.
Tell me about yourself.
Well, I think this question, there is a many way that can to deal with this question. In my perspective, I think if the interviewer asks me this question, I can say, well, firstly I want to say my name and also my age. Also I can say, like, my name is Badr. I'm 25 years old. I'm graduated from the High Institute of Technology as an electromechanical automatic system. Also, I'm encouraged to prepare my diploma in management touristic. Touristic. Also, I'm doing my ESL in English. And also I can talk about my experience. Well, in my professional experience, firstly, I'm working in 3 companies. Firstly, I'm working as a failure analyst in a company specialized in the construction and distribution of equipment automobiles. I'm working in it. This job does give me many challenge and many responsibilities, because I'm working in a department of the quality. So I'm responsible for the quality of the product. Secondly, I'm working in a company specialized in the customer service. I'm working as a quality of the product of the customer service.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's all.
Right, and then okay, so yeah, and you've got a lot of details there, and I think that's a natural construction, a natural structure to the answer. Let me see. Okay, and you talk about name. I mean, there are some companies that want to know your age. If you're speaking to an American company, they're not going to ask you that, because. Yeah. That's when we sue them in return. So there are things. I mean, there are personal information like marital status, ethnicity, faith, nationality, and age as well. And if you're a woman, whether you want to, whether you have children or whether you're planning to have children, they can't ask you any of these things. So. But of course, if you want to say your age, fine, go for it. I think they're not going to stop you from saying it. And of course, if we're in a job interview, let's be honest, they're going to have a good guess as to what age you are. Of course, they are. But I like those. You gave some clear details about your qualifications, and then again, quite a pretty precise summary of the kind of work that you've been doing in those 3 positions that you've had. And yeah, I think that's a great start to any job interview, to talk about well, here's my education, here's my qualifications, here's my experience, and then you can move on from there and perhaps talk about the things that you most want to do, and we could talk about the challenges we want that we want to have in work, the experiences that we want, because that's a way of saying, well, I've done all these things. But I'm not satisfied. I want to do even more, and I want to gain experience in this area or that area. And so that again will give that interviewer, that will give that organization a clear idea of why we're sitting here today. Why did we apply? Why did we send our resume or CV to that organization? If we can talk about what we want, and hopefully it's about new challenges and doing a good job, then it helps that interviewer know, okay, so that's why he or she wants that job with us. And that it's an important thing to talk about. And it might seem obvious that we want a job. Of course it is. But they need to know why, right? We need to talk, of course, we need to talk about some concrete things. So I like the skills and experience stuff, and I would encourage you better to think as well about, well, what is it you want to do in the future. We don't have 10 minutes to answer a question like this, but a couple of pieces of information about your future plans, your aspirations, your ambitions. These are also good things to talk about in an answer like that. So, but I liked your example back there. I think that was good stuff. Yeah. All right. Nice. But I like the example.
Cầm lên đó đi, rồi mấy đứa ăn chứ.
All right. I don't think I spoke to you. Oh yeah, Ahmed. Hello, Ahmed.
Hello, sir.
Let me practice with you. Tell me about yourself.
Okay. I got graduated in 2014. I have a degree in marketing. I used to work in a small-sized firm which specializes in creating Android apps. Actually, I was responsible for persuading customers to use our apps. And as I mentioned, it was a small-sized firm, so I was responsible for many things, such as emailing and having direct contact with customers. So actually, I got many experiences dealing with customers. And actually, also, I dealt with many crises. So I have an experience of that too.
All right, tell me. Well, let me cut in there. There's a couple of very interesting skills and accomplishments you talk about. One of them was about dealing with crises. But before that, I'd like to hear more about persuading. You talk about persuading customers to use your company apps. What did you do to persuade people?
Actually, instead of saying to customers, "Hey, come and use our app," I did something different. I actually make some kind of advertisements that saying, "Here we have some new things that could be benefit you to get better socializing with your friend or your family." So I started from the ending point instead of the other way around. Better socializing with your friend.
Okay, and Sylvia, I'm getting some noise from there. Sorry. When you talk about explaining the benefits, how did you reach those customers? Where were you going, and what were you using to tell people about the end benefits of these apps?
Actually, I get started from the most social networking that has this kind of socializing between friends and families. For instance, I went to Facebook and I started searching, and even I tested at first with my friends and family. So I got experience before I get established that new plan.
And that's good. And for everybody here, if we can talk about the process, if we can give a clear explanation of the steps that we take to achieve a goal, so important. And sometimes I know it can seem maybe it seems too obvious, or it seems it goes without saying, but actually it's really helpful to explain to an employer the steps that we take as part of certain jobs, especially if we have sole responsibility for that. My goodness, let's use let's talk about the things that I did, and what I saw as the problem, the decisions I made, the actions I took, and then the result, the outcome of that. Yeah, these are important things. Okay, I like your persuade details, Ahmed. The other point was crises. Tell me about these crises that you dealt with.
Yes, actually, one day I was sitting on my office doing my regular job, and I received a call from a customer who has recently suffering from losing his information regarding to some hacking things. And after a while, I got another call and another call and another call. So I realized that we have a problem with our website. So that time, I have to rebuild our reputation, because actually it damaged that time. So I got up with a new plan, which is to offer customers more benefits. So I gave them a free app, and of course we solved the current problem by um, building a new security system to protect our website.
Okay. And again, I like that. I think that's a clear story that you're telling. You talk about the actions you took, the actions you took, yes, and you talk about the results as well. And that, again, that is absolutely what they're looking for. And if we're responsible, if these are things that we did, again, we can use I, we can use my, we can talk about these things. If there are other people in the team, if other people deserve credit, go ahead, give them that credit. That can show humility. It can show that you've been part of a successful team as well. These are good things. But of course, the actions they're most interested in a job interview is your actions. So absolutely be as precise and specific as you can about the things that you've done, with such as Ahmed's example, the crises that you've overcome, and the problems or the obstacles that you've helped have to deal with. Because of course, you know, this is how we learn. This is how we get better, by facing a problem and thinking through it and taking action. And sometimes these things work, and sometimes they don't. But it's always a learning opportunity. It's always a chance for us to improve our skills and to improve our self-confidence as well. Ahmed, tell me, if what does your perfect job look like? What would you love to do?
Actually, I'm looking forward to be working in public relation. Actually, I have skills like socializing, communication skills. So I would like to use them in my job, with my new job, if I got in your company.
Okay.
And that's why actually I left my previous job in the other company, because I mostly have other things to do. But actually, I'm looking forward to work in public relation.
Ah, yes, I see. Okay, and that's a pretty good answer as to why you left. The why you left question can be a very dangerous question when we talk. If someone says, "Oh, well, why, you know, why do you want to leave that job?" or "Why did you leave your last position?" We always need to think very carefully about how we speak to that, because there are some very bad answers we can give, and there are some pretty acceptable answers we can give as well. But that's for another day, right? Ahmed, thanks for those answers. I liked those details. I like that clear structure of your answers. You talk very clearly about the steps that you took to achieve goals, and it doesn't matter what job you're going for or what industry you're involved in. It's good to give those clear details. Absolutely, yeah. All right. Let me see. I think we have time for one more. Let me have a look here. I'm going to go to. I haven't spoken to you yet, actually. Hamid. Hello, Hamid.
Hello, teacher.
Hello. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm very pleased to see you in this class. I was waiting for emptying your classes, because your classes all time are full.
I know, it's terrible. It's a terrible business. I'm so glad you made it, Hamid. Well, let's practice the question, and we've heard from a number of people already today. Different examples, different jobs, different experiences, different ambitions. But for you, Hamid, tell me about yourself.
Okay, I think I'm not very well at this, but I want to try. My name is Hamid. I'm from Iran, and I graduated in teacher training center in a small state in Iran, and my last experience of a job is teaching in elementary school as a teacher. And I think I don't know what should I do. No.
So, okay, so you're telling me about that last job, about that experience.
Yeah.
What did you do well? What were the things that you were best at in that job?
in my last job. Okay.
Yeah.
My how can I say, my communication with children, and my my ability to convey the information to the children was my positive points in my job. And I always try to be on time and done my works in the job at the proper time, and like this.
Okay. You mentioned, yeah, I mean, yes, punctuality. We know that that's a big one for so many jobs. Absolutely, teaching included, and working in schools. Absolutely. You mentioned communications with children as something that you were good at, communicating, and also explaining things to
Yes.
children as well. Can you give me an example of when you had to explain things to kids?
Yeah, and yes. One time I want to teach numbers and their how can I say that, the steps of saying numbers, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, and more for children, and one of my children cannot memorize the steps and levels, and I say that by preparing paint and painting the numbers on the whiteboard, and then using a poem to memorizing numbers, and then he can say the numbers as well as a good as it is.
Well, there you go. There's your example, right? I mean, and I like that. Of course, I like it because it's a teaching example as well, which is always fun for me. And you're right, of course. My goodness, using rhythm and using poetry or song and giving a visual picture. These are all great ways to convey meaning, and all great ways to help facilitate understanding. Whether it's a child or whether it's an adult, these are all ways that can help us learn better, and also help us remember things as well. So I like the example, I mean, because you're saying here's the problem, you know, that this child, he was having trouble remembering and learning those numbers. So these are the actions I took. I put it on the whiteboard. There was a poem, and as a result, he was able to get those numbers. He was able to understand them and remember them. So again, we have, here's the problem, here's my action, and here's the result, and that's true for everybody here. And of course, there are going to be different examples depending on the type of job and depending on the level of job that you're talking about. But my goodness, the structure is pretty much the same, right? Here are the circumstances or the problem. Here's what I thought about this. Here are the actions I took, and of course, if there are other people helping out, you can talk about them as well. But very important, talk about the result. And of course, find an example where there's a good result as well. And maybe you could talk about the things you learned from that if you want to do it even better the next time. These are great things to talk about when you're answering questions like this in a job interview, because it shows, A, that you're aware of what you do right, you're aware of the things you need to do better, you can talk about your skills, your strengths, and you're talking about the things they want to hear about, okay? We're out of time. Of course we are. We can continue this. Please take a look at the Facebook page, because it'll give you, there we go. It's going to give you the my schedule here on Verbling, and I'm running plenty of these job interview classes this week, as well as exam preparation classes here on Verbling. So please join me again here at this kind of class, and we'll do more of these this week. Absolutely. Check out the Facebook page. Follow me on Verbling and Facebook. Thank you so much for your great examples and your answers today. I really appreciate you coming to class, everybody here, and giving me those answers and practicing your English with me. Makes me happy. It's no fun without you, I promise. So please join me again. And oh, you're very welcome. And I'll see you again soon, okay? Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.